When Shemia Fagan resigned as Secretary of State, the talk centered around her private consulting contract with the owners of LaModa, Oregon's second largest cannabis dispensary chain. At the time, her office was auditing the OLCC, which oversees the cannabis industry. The consulting contract put about $10,000 a month in Fagan's pocket until she terminated it when it became public. But this saga points to a bigger issue, and here to tie it all together is attorney Jason Kafuri from Honest Elections, Oregon. They're advocating for campaign finance reform in Oregon. Jason, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Ken.
Well, a lot of people thought Shemia Fagan was positioning herself for a run at governor in the future, taking a similar path as former Governor Kate Brown. The most recent gubernatorial election, candidates spent about $80 million total. That was a record amount. So do you think Shemia Fagan may have been cultivating a big money donor for her political future?
Well, I think it's a sad system right now. We have no limits on money in politics. That allowed the LaModa folks to give her $45,000. And as it came out this week, a lot of the donations they were giving to Kotek and other politicians were straight cash donations. We have no limits not only on how much you can give somebody, but no limits on physical currency that you can hand off to somebody. I think the Shemia Fagan situation is sad for several reasons. One, I think we got to pay our public officials more money.
She was making $77,000
$77,000 a year for two kids. You know, I think she was in a tough situation. She took a really bad contract. She made a terrible political move. But there's no doubt in my mind that if we had political limits on our contributions, if LaModa folks could only have given her $1,000 or $2,000 instead of $45,000, she would not have entertained them. There is a corrupting influence of money in politics, and that's why we need desperately to have campaign finance reform. We're one of 5 states, Ken, that has no limits at all on how much you can give a politician. Hence Phil Knight giving millions and millions of dollars these last couple cycles.
Yeah, and he just recently gave another $2 million for Republican candidates to run in the legislature, the state legislature. So it's continuing to happen.
It's going to continue to happen, and we are working hard. We're lobbying the legislature to try to come up with real campaign finance reform. I view it as 3 things, Ken. Number one, we got to put limits that are real on entities, all entities, to be able to give to candidates, and they got to be low enough so that they end that corrupting influence. You can't give 6 and 7 figures to a politician and not have that be somewhat corrupting. Number 2, we need transparency. So when people do give the donations, especially if it's the dark outside money, we need that to be clearly put in the advertising, paid for by the specific entity or person who gave that big money. You can't have a system where it says, hey, I'm a political action committee and I'm Oregonians for Good Puppies, even though I'm really Chevron, and I'm saying paid for by Oregonians for Good Puppies. You have to have a drill down transparency thing so we know who's really paying for it. And third, I think we need a public funding system. We have it for the city of Portland. You get a small donation from a citizen and the taxpayers give you a matching fund on top of that. And I think that eliminates a lot of the problems we're seeing now where people don't feel like they can afford to run against millionaires and billionaires.
Well, let's talk about why this is a corrupting influence. Obviously, it takes money to run ads, do campaigns, run campaigns. Why is it necessarily corrupting?
I think that we all know how politics works. If somebody's writing me a check for $1 million versus someone writing me a check for $1,000, when I call that politician, they're going to pick up my phone because I gave them $1 million, and they're going to listen to what I want for them to do. And I think that if we can figure out a way to level the playing field so that Citizen A and Phil Knight are both limited to the same amount of money they can give a politician, that is how we're going to have a healthy democracy in Oregon. And the voters want it. Measure 107 that said we're going to amend the Constitution in 2020 to allow limits on political contributions and to have transparency in our political donations. It passed with over 75% of the vote. So Oregonians are screaming for this. We haven't had any campaign finance reform since the 90s, and that was just for one session in the 90s. So this has been going on for almost every Oregonian's entire life, no limits on money in politics.
Are there any bills in the Oregon legislature right now that could address this problem?
So there are several leaders at the legislature are working on this. Speaker Rayfield has a bill. We're actively lobbying and communicating with his office on some fixes we think that will help stop some of the big loopholes that we see in that bill. And we're optimistic that we can work together to try to reach a compromise bill that the good government groups will say that's real campaign finance reform. On the Senate side, Senator Golden has been a champion, probably the champion on the Senate side for campaign finance reform. He has his own Senate bill. He is working to introduce some updates to it that the good government groups have been working with him on. And what I would say to the legislature is this. They're moving fast. There's a lot happening. There are national experts. The Campaign Legal Center from Washington, D.C., which works on this issue in all 50 states. There are national experts that have been looking at this stuff. It's really complicated, Ken. And before we finalize something, before we send it to the voters, and before we make a final decision, let's make sure that the good government groups and the national experts get a chance to weigh in on it and say, yeah, that's real campaign finance reform. That's not some phony baloney system.
Now, do either of these bills that are being considered now in the legislature, realistically, do they have a chance?
I think that there is a slim path. Obviously, the legislature is consumed right now with the walkouts and trying to get a bunch of stuff done. But I think a new momentum has happened this last couple of weeks with this news stories just trickling out about what happened with Shemia Fagan, the cash donations that Kotek and Fagan and other representatives and senators were getting from LaMotta. I think that the legislature is at a point right now where it's hard not to do something here because the voters are really angry, and they deserve to be angry about what's happening.
Let's look at another case. During the primaries, we saw a virtual unknown run in Oregon's 6th congressional district. His name was Carrick Flynn. He got millions to run his ads from a billionaire cryptocurrency guy, Sam Bankman-Fried. Since then, Bankman-Fried's company has gone bankrupt. He's facing fraud charges right now. Andrea Salinas actually won that race as a Democrat.
Yeah.
But is there a cautionary tale here, even though Carrick Flynn didn't win?
Absolutely. What we see in that race is that big money is going to try to influence politicians. It's just a fact. And they're going to keep giving millions and millions of dollars. Illinois governor race this last cycle, somebody gave $25 million to one governor candidate. $25 million, one individual gave a $25 million check. So we need to have a system where there are limits on political donations, but also transparency. I don't think a lot of really rich people want to have their name put in all they're paid for by ads. I really don't think they want that. And you know what that allows us? If we know who's really paying for it, then the media gets a chance to call that person and say, hey, why are you bankrolling this politician who, like Mr. Flynn, has no political experience? What's really going on here? And that's why it's a complex topic, but there are reforms that have happened. Arizona just passed a really good transparency bill this last cycle. I think it was with over 70%. So I think there's a movement to say we need to have big money donors be identified in the advertising, and we need to drill down and find out who's actually giving the money.
We've only got about 30 seconds left, Jason, but is this just a problem for statewide and national offices, or does it trickle down to the local level?
I think it trickles down to all levels. Only Portland and Multnomah County have limits right now. That's the only places in the state of Oregon. So what I think we need is, like we have in the city of Portland, a public funding system where the politicians in Salem can take small donations and get them matched. The Seattle model might be my favorite. Every voter gets a $100 democracy voucher. You can either give it to a politician or not. And I think that's a beautiful model. I'd love to see that in Oregon.
Jason Kafoury, thank you for being on Eye on Northwest Politics.
Thanks, Ken.